Sometimes at the end of a long winter day, we still have to fill up the porch with wood because we were too busy to get it done earlier in the day. This is one of our non-negotiables. If we don't have wood on the porch, then we don't have wood to readily put in the fire, which is what we are constantly needing to do to keep our house warm in the winter. It's a simple task that takes 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much wood we put on the porch at a time. Sometimes we just put the bare minimum to get us through until the next day. That way, we can do it in the daylight. Thankfully, I have this handy little lantern that helps me see in the dark. It's a rechargeable LED lantern, and not only does it have a handle that I can hold on to, it also has one that I can stick over the side of the wheelbarrow. It also has different brightness settings and a spotlight on the end. If you've been needing something like this, I have a link in my description and you can get 25% off if you use the code. I think I'm about due for a new wheelbarrow. This one started having some problems when I got close to the porch. I don't know if it was just the snow buildup on the wheel causing it to slow itself down or what, but it seems like the wheel is a little too close to the tub. I don't know if it's just getting bent from many years of being used or what. It was definitely giving me a little trouble here and there. I ended up turning it around and just dragging it the other way back. That seemed to work a little bit easier. I think it's about time to put the wheelbarrow up for the winter anyway and start using the otter sled to get our wood. That's much easier when there's snow on the ground because it just seems to glide easily through the snow instead of having to try to push it through a couple inches of snow and deal with whatever I was dealing with here today. The snow is so peaceful and quiet and beautiful, and sometimes it makes these cool formations on the side of our house. The work doesn't stop, whether it's a snowy day or just a cold day. There's always stuff that needs to be done, and this year especially because we've been cutting so much firewood for other people, we have been lacking firewood ourselves. So even when we're not cutting for other people, we're still cutting firewood for ourselves, and probably will be a lot of the time this winter because usually we try to get our firewood in the spring or even as late as the fall. But it's a lot harder work in the wintertime, dealing with all the snow and everything freezing up, so it tends to take a little bit longer to get a load of wood. I think people probably wonder if we ever get tired of cutting wood, and the answer is yes, definitely. But sometimes you don't have a choice. If you need the money or you need firewood to keep your house warm and you can't afford to buy wood because it's too expensive, then you just don't really have a choice. You just have to keep going and pushing through no matter what. And some days it definitely is hard, but I try to look at the positive side and I try to enjoy it because it's hard work, it's good for you, and it's good exercise. I also like to try to do an even workload with my husband, which will never happen, but I at least try to take some of the work off of his shoulders because he does a lot of the other stuff that is even harder, like cutting the trees down and dragging them off the mountain with the skid steer. Sometimes he does have me get in the skid steer and help with the firewood, but it's actually pretty hard to see out of that thing, especially when the boom is blocking your view. He has me hold up the logs so he can cut them and pick them up and move them around. That way he's not constantly getting in and out of the skid steer, which takes up quite a bit of his time. Sometimes it gets to be a little bit of a yelling match between him and me because I can't see him, I can't hear him, and I feel like he expects me to read his mind, but I think that's pretty typical if you have a man directing a woman to operate equipment. He's getting frustrated because I'm not understanding what he's saying, and I'm getting frustrated because he thinks that I can understand what he's saying over the noise and everything. Either way, we work through it and get the job done. It's a learning experience for me every time, and I think it's good for me to learn how to do different things with the equipment. I will never do a lot of the things that he does, such as skidding logs out of the woods, because it's just downright dangerous and sometimes stupid what he will do with this equipment. But in sometimes when I need to use it, at least I know that I will be able to use it if he's not home. The skid steer is especially tricky because there are a lot of blind spots, especially when backing up, and so there is a camera on it, but you still have to be really careful and pay very close attention to where you're going and what you're doing, because it is a very big piece of equipment and it could really hurt somebody. Or worse, if you're not careful and paying really close attention to what you're doing. I am guilty of almost taking my husband out with a log when I was moving one of the logs today, and he was not happy with me at all, but it was just because I could not see through the boom and I did not know where the log was or where he was. So I think the moral of that story is that both of us need to pay more attention to one another and make sure that we're looking out and being aware of our surroundings at all times. Many people think operating equipment is an easy job, but it's actually so much more than just sitting in a cab and moving some joysticks around. This is just what one winter day may look like on the homestead. There's many different winter days in our life, but a lot of them involve lots of hard work. If you enjoy watching my videos, please make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment and let me know if you've ever operated heavy equipment before, or if you ever would if given the chance.